made, but they have in Chris Miller a healthy quarterback, and that's helped.
Well, you know, if you're looking for the reasons they started 4-1, I think you start with Chris Miller, who's gotten off to a very strong start for these St. Louis Rams. And look what he's done this year compared to last year. They're getting a lot of productions in the touchdown department, 9 and only 2 interceptions. And they're getting a lot of big plays out of the wide receivers. Isaac Bruce in particular tonight, I think, will be a feature player. This is one of the young, emerging stars in the NFL. This guy can do a lot of different things. He opened their last game with a 72-yard reception, and the Rams think they can go deep on Atlanta tonight. They want to take 4 or 5 shots to Isaac Bruce and some of the other wide receivers because they think they can blow by them.
You know, 2 things strike me about their 4-0 start. They lost their last game to Indianapolis. In the first 4 games, they didn't turn the ball over 1 time. They took it away 14 times.
Well, as efficient as the offense has been, the defense has been absolutely sensational, explosive. Look what they've done. 4 defensive touchdowns to rank first, 10 interceptions, and the 16 takeaways. And they're led by their middle linebacker tonight, Roman Pfeiffer. They only play with a 1 linebacker set against this run and shoot. Roman Pfeiffer, if you had to pick an MVP of this Ram defense right now, this would be the guy. And it's one of those game within the games, Vern. I think he will be one-on-one with Ironhead Hayward, and that's a key matchup.
Atlanta comes in with an identical mark of 4-1. Second year for head coach June Jones. Second year for quarterback Jeff George.
Well, you know, it's debatable, but I would argue that Jeff George has the best arm in the NFL. He's not the best quarterback, but the best arm when you consider his release and velocity and accuracy. And I think he's come a long way this year. He's brought his team from behind twice and to win in overtime. He's played very well in the 4th quarter. So I think if they're going to be a playoff team, Jeff George has to continue to play well late in the game.
In the run and shoot, of course, the emphasis is on the receiver core. You need 4, and they're hampered by injury at that spot.
Yeah, 2 of their wide receivers are out tonight. They've been very good this year. You see Metcalf, Emmanuel, but Mathis and Burden are injured and will not play tonight. This has to affect them. Spencer and Brown take their place. They've never started in this offense, so you have to think they're going to lean to Metcalf and Emmanuel.
Well, the advantage there may go to St. Louis, but I would think that in the kicking game, there is a decided advantage to Atlanta.
I think one of the biggest stories in the NFL this year, Vern, particularly about player movement, is the fact that Morton Anderson left New Orleans and came to these Atlanta Falcons. This is a guy that has won 22 games in his career, including 2 this season, 1 against his former teammates. Now, they may well be a playoff team, and if they are, I believe Morton Anderson will be the difference.
Morton Anderson is hampered by a strained calf muscle. He will not kick off tonight. He's going to give way to Tony Zendejas, who was signed just this week because of that. Here's June Jones in his 2nd season as a head coach, and there is Tony Zendejas, 11 years in the league. The Zendejas brothers, many confused them for years as a sequel to an acrobatic troupe. Tony Zendejas will kick off. Todd Kinchin, Johnny Thomas are the deep men for the St. Louis Rams. Taken by Bailey. He can fly. Johnny Thomas moves it out to the 37-yard line. Chris Miller having a wonderful year. Blown out by 2 knee injuries in both 92 and 93 when he was the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. Matter of fact, the first knee injury in 1992 came in Week 8 against the then Los Angeles Rams.
Well, 2 parts of his game plan tonight. They want to get Jerome Bettis going inside, tackle to tackle. And Vern, then they want to take some deep shots. 4 or 5 deep shots past these Atlanta Falcon defenders.
Ball is actually marked at the 35, first down. And Miller will throw on first down. Drills it, caught, then dropped. It's going to be ruled incomplete. The tight end, Pat Carter, the 3rd tight end. Incomplete on first down. Here are the backs and receivers. Hester will start. Marv Cook is the H-back. It's been Bruce who's had the terrific year. And up front, Vern Brostek is the anchor of that line that averages 301 pounds. Now Johnny Bailey has come into the backfield. Number 20. And Miller will throw on second down. Across the middle for Bailey. That's good to the 41-yard line. They might give him the 41 and a half. Bailey, who dropped a sure 25-yarder last week, has had a kind of ineffective year. Missed a couple of games with a broken toe, a small toe. Defensively for Atlanta, Chris Dolman is back to all-pro form. He's got 6.5 sacks this year. Chuck Smith at the other end has 4.5. Jesse Tuggle, fresh from a Pro Bowl appearance, leads the team in tackles. Here's where they may be suspect in the defensive secondary. Bruce and Kinchin are the wide receivers on 3rd down and 3. Drayton, the tight end, in motion. That's Isaac Bruce out to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, this is Isaac Bruce's first year as a starter, and we talked about him being an emerging star, and the reason he can do all the things you ask for of a star player, of a star receiver. He can blow by you. He had a 72 catch to open the game against the Colts. He's good in traffic. He's smooth. He comes out of cuts and creates a separation, and he's got very good hands. This guy is a very, very good player.
See the career afternoon he had a week ago or 10 days ago. That's a 12-yard gain. It's 1st and 10 at the 46. Here's Bettis. He struggled this year, and he struggles on 1st down.
And that's been part of the problem. They do not want Jerome Bettis bouncing the ball outside. They want him staying tackle to tackle. When he starts going sideways, the defense has won half the battle. And the defense of the Falcons, the front four, has really been the strength. They do a pretty good job. Kevin Ross, number 36, really defeats the block of Hester, and it's the first one there. But again, Rich Brooks said we want Jerome Bettis running the ball inside. If there's not a hole, make one.
They'll go with a big back offense now. Leonard Russell has joined him. Russell checks in at 240 pounds. Miller will throw. Here comes Dolman. They find Leonard Russell. He breaks a tackle, has a block, and is cut down at the 44. He only picked up a couple of yards. Tackle is made by Jesse Tuggle, number 58, who leads this team in tackles again. 18 tackles in the last game against New England.
And this is an attack pressure defense. You're seeing so much in the NFL this year. Chris Dolman, if there's a comeback player of the year after 5 games, Chris Dolman's one of those guys. And as you mentioned, Clay Matthews is the guy that forces it in. One of the linebackers, number 58, will make most of the tackles for this Falcon defense tonight, playing sideline to sideline.
Bailey has come in on 3rd down. 2 wide receivers split left and right. 3rd and 8. Miller, screen pass. Right side for Johnny Bailey. 2 blockers in front. Gets help, and he's cut down a yard short of the 1st down.
Boy, did Jesse Tuggle play that great, Vern. Jesse Tuggle stayed in on the 3rd down pass. Saw it was a screen early, but didn't rush the play. And then he made the stop and forces the punt. That is one heck of a play by Jesse Tuggle, because he had 2 offensive linemen out in front of him.
Second tackle for Tuggle, and Sean Landeta is on to punt. Landeta for the season averaging 43.3. He leads the league in punts attempted.
They got a fake, maybe a fake punt here?
Yeah.
No?
Keith Lyle was up under center. Now he moves out of the way. They will try all kinds of trickery. Back it comes to Landeta. And they may have taken a delay of game call. Yep. Which they don't mind. I was about to say Landeta leads the league in number of punts. This will be his 31st.
They have run all sorts of trick plays, and as you mentioned earlier in the year, they ran this same play where
delay on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Where the wingman, you're going to see him. He's right under there. He's right underneath center. He's ordinarily over here, and if he sees something, if he sees an open, he'll take it for a 1st down. If not, they take the penalty and punt it. And Rich Brooks, to me, is a breath of fresh air for this NFL, because he has run
How'd you say that?
A breath. I got something caught in my throat.
You got broccoli? There's the first of many references tonight. That one goes into the end zone. It's a touchback. That's the 6th touchback of the season for Landeta. That's not going to make him smile. Time has been called. We'll be right back. View from overhead, Busch Stadium, packed to capacity on this splendid summer October night. Here is Jeff George. Is catching.
Yeah, he is.
If this is summer, we've got a scoop. Well, it's been warm today. 85 degrees. at mid-afternoon. Jeff George.
You know, this is a perfect setting and a perfect team, I think, Vern, for him to become a leader. Everybody has talked about his phenomenal skill, and he does have phenomenal skill. But I believe the way he's played this year late in the games, he's really becoming the leader of this team.
In the run and shoot, they open with a tight end and 3 wide receivers. This is Mitch Lyons, the tight end, number 86. Here's George. Finds Mitch Lyons, the tight end, and he gets it out to the 26-yard line. So with the absence of 2 receivers, Mitch Lyons opens at tight end. Backs and receivers. Tyrone Brown and Darrell Spencer getting their first starts, though Spencer was not in on the first play tonight. And the offensive line, Roman Fortin hampered with injury, but he is starting tonight. Zandowski off of arthroscopic knee surgery. 2nd down and 4. Eric Metcalf in the backfield. He is an all-purpose back.
He has really found, I think, the perfect offense for his skill and talent.
Defensively, they plan to open with just 1 linebacker tonight. That'll be Roman Pfeiffer because of the run and shoot. And 6 defensive backs. The extra ones tonight are McBurrows, number 23, and Torin Dorn, number 46.
Yeah, but because the tight end is, and they brought a 2nd linebacker in, Carlos Jenkins, so they do have 2 linebackers in the game right now.
Shane Conlon, a normal starting middle linebacker, is inactive tonight. They didn't think they'd need him. Here it is to Metcalf in the backfield. He's caught for a loss at 38.
Todd Light, the defensive corner for the Rams, made the stop. And Todd Light was talking to us yesterday, and he was saying it takes us a while. He's right here, number 41. He says playing against the run and shoot, it takes a while defensively to get in the rhythm. So he said that first series is really important to us. And this is the matchup the Falcons want. You want Eric Metcalf one-on-one with a guy, but Todd Light did his job and stopped him in his tracks. That's a heck of a play there by Todd Light.
2nd and 11. No score. Opening quarter of the game. Flags are down. Walt Coleman is the referee tonight. It's on Darrell Spencer, the young man getting his first start tonight. Number 84. That'll cost him 5 and bring up a 2nd and 16. With J.J. Burden and Terrence Mathis on the inactive list tonight, the only backup wide receiver is Roel Preston. So in a run and shoot, they've got 5 guys. Metcalf back in the slot now. Left side. 2nd and 16. George has it. Looking left all the way. It's a 1-hopper to Darrell Spencer, number 84. It'll be 3rd and 16.
Yeah, the featured guys in this run and shoot tonight will be Eric Metcalf and Bert Emanuel as wide receivers, and then Craig Hayward, is having his best season as a pro. You know, he's averaging over 4 yards a carry and number 5 in rushing the NFL. He is really, I think, the key to making this thing go, this run and shoot.
3rd and 16. They load up with 3 on the left. Rams threaten the blitz. They're sending only 4. Shovel pass. They get it to Hayward. Big hole. And a big man making a huge move. They overcome a 3rd and 16 with a gain of 25.
Yeah, that is a good offensive play. Remember the one-on-one match we talked about, Roman Pfeiffer versus Craig Hayward, number 58? I mean, you're going to see this all night long in the run and shoot. This time they get a body on him. They actually get 2 bodies on him. And Craig Hayward did that little shovel pass that we see Denver run so well. And nobody seems to want to get in front of Craig Hayward when he gets that 250 pounds moving downhill.
That was Bob Whitfield, number 70, with the block. It's 1st down, and Harper LaBelle is in at tight end now. Eric Metcalf lined up in the backfield. Circles the wagons to the left side and moves it inside the 40 to the 38.
And Craig Hayward is lining up as a wide receiver, and he threw a very good block there for Eric Metcalf. I mean, the thing about Craig Hayward, and again, he's in best shape he has been in his entire life. and he's number 34 on the wing here. But you're going to see him put the kick-out block that allows Eric Metcalf to kind of step in behind him and pick up about 7 yards.
7:15 to go in the opening quarter. No score. Now there's 7:15. 2nd and 3. Metcalf comes right. Oh, what a dandy defensive play, Todd Light. Number 41.
Well, he said it'd take a while to settle in, but Todd Light has settled in very quickly in this opening drive by Atlanta. You know, the other thing, and that's 2 good tackles on Eric Metcalf. The thing about this run and shoot, what Atlanta's doing a very good job this year is possessing the ball, time of possession. I mean, I think they rank 8th in the NFL, and this has been a methodical drive. They've done a lot of that this season.
Darrell Spencer back in. Metcalf comes in motion near side. 3rd and 4. Blitz. Hot receiver caught short. What a tackle. Flag is down as well. Keith Lyle, number 35, with the stop.
Yeah, Keith Lyle, that free safety. One of the things the Rams have done well on this opening drive is make sure they've very good tackling. As soon as the ball has been caught by the receivers, the Ram defenders have made the tackle, and that has been one of their keys coming into this ball game.
Todd Light said to us that they didn't feel they tackled well in the loss at Indianapolis, and they needed to improve on that tonight. They want 0 yards after the catch.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody does. 'Tis an admirable goal.
Yeah. You know, there's in the background there. Whoops.
5-yard penalty.
That's Walt Coleman. That's not Shane Conlon. But Shane Conlon is over there on that Ram sideline on that bench, as you mentioned, inactive, and really he plays against this run and shoot twice a year. And he's a 14-game schedule because you know, he doesn't play against Atlanta. He's their middle linebacker. He's kind of a run, you know, old-fashioned tough guy, and he's a street close.
But they don't dock his pay.
No.
3rd and 9. Rams defensive giant. Hayward is dropped. Jimmy Jones, the one-time Dallas Cowboy.
There are 2 good defensive lines tonight. At that time it was Jimmy Jones, but you're going to see a lot of Sean Gilbert, DeMarco Farr, Kevin Carter, the #1 draft pick. Remember on 3rd and long before they ran a little shovel pass and it picked up a lot of yards for the first down? That time Jimmy Jones had nothing. Threw his guy away, just disposed of him and put the stop on Hayward before he could get started.
Dan Straczynski, who specializes in inducing fair catches. Thought I'd slip that in quickly. There's the 11th fair catch. He's had only 12 returned this year.
Is there a difference between an induced punt and forcing a fair catch?
It's one of the vicissitudes of the kicking game.
For the most part, next to them, they're out there naked for the most part against the big upfield pass rushers.
There's some movement along the line of scrimmage. Darrell Ashmore, number 77, may have induced.
False start prior to the snap, number 77, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
One of the men to come across the line of scrimmage.
Well, you know, in their 4 wins, they didn't make many mistakes, as you've already talked about. When that loss to the Colts, the 3 turnovers, they had 10 penalties and only 37 rushing yards, and that was clearly the difference in the loss to the Colts. And Marshall Faulk was sensational.
177 yards by Marshall Faulk in that game last week. Mark again is the H-back now, first down and 15. 5:14 to go, opening quarter. Here's Bettis. Moves it out past the 10 to the 12-yard line. Bettis kind of a puzzle this year, Pat. He started off against Green Bay with 4 yards on 7 carries. Struggled again last week.
Well, it was really, you know, started about mid-season a year ago. The last 7 games of last season, he only gained 211 yards, and he had a sensational rookie year. In the last 4 games, he had over 100 yards. Then he started his second year real well. Then something happened in that, you know, from the 7th game on, they weren't using him much. They weren't giving him the ball as much, and his team was way behind. But he is not the back that he was in that rookie season.
Defensively for Atlanta, number 97, Jumpy Gathers, has come up on the passing down. And Bettis, they try a little bit of a draw, and they get only a couple after the 35. Kevin Ross, number 36. makes the tackle. A long-time standout with the Kansas City Chiefs. This Atlanta team they've really used the free agent market, haven't they?
Yeah, and they have. You know, they brought in Darryl Talley at one outside linebacker. A couple years ago, Clay Matthews came in. Kevin Ross is here. You know, Chris Dolman a couple years ago. By the way, we said Dolman is having a sensational year. A year ago, he was really injured. Injured his left ankle, his right ankle. Couldn't push off. But now he leads the NFL in sacks.
Tied at the top with Pleasant, 6.5. Third down and 7. 4-man rush. Across the middle for Bruce. First down at the 30-yard line. Isaac Bruce, one of 15 kids. His mom is a Pentecostal minister. He's got a couple of sisters who are also involved in the church. Calls himself, as you heard earlier, the minister of offense.
Well, I'll tell you, the thing about most of these, a lot of speed receivers, Vern, you don't see want to go over the middle, make tough catches. We've seen it twice tonight. He's gone right over the middle on those slant routes or those skinny posts, and he's taken a shot after the catch.
I loved what he told Ernie Johnson on the pregame show. This is a special Thursday night service, and communion will be served. Isaac Bruce, play action, right side, man open. Marv Cook, the H-back. And that's good for another gain of 7 or 8 yards.
You know, Isaac Bruce, you mentioned 15 kids. I think he had 8 sisters. I don't know
and
how,
6 brothers.
I don't know how you get in the bathroom with 8 6. I only had 2. Never got in the bathroom.
Johnny Thomas has made his first appearance at wide receiver tonight, number 18.
Yeah, and Johnny Thomas is number 18, one of these guys the Rams believe can absolutely outrun any corner in the league, and they want to use him deep tonight.
See if they take a shot on second down. Defensive back play way off. They run it. They get the first down, they being the St. Louis Rams.
And that's what they want out of Jerome Bettis. He doesn't have to be Marshall Faulk or Barry Sanders for them. He has to be able to get those 4-yard runs, run straight ahead, because of his size at 245 pounds. You know, these kind of runs that are 4-yard runs in the first quarter become 6- and 7-yard runs in the fourth quarter. I mean, he has the ability, when he was really playing great, to wear a defense down in the fourth quarter.
Number 86, Jesse Hester, comes back in the lineup, and Johnny Thomas heads to the bench. Hester brings the play in. First down and 10. No score. 2 minutes remaining, opening quarter. Blitz. Miller with time. Has Bruce open. Caught. Foot race.
They can't
No decision.
Yeah, they can't decide. They're talking about it.
Back judge and field judge. In or out. Touchdown.
The ball has to do is cross that plane that goes around the world, Vern. And I don't think it did from that angle. It did not look like that ball across that plane when he was down. But nonetheless, the the Ram offensive game plan put together by Jack Riley was to take some deep shots, and they get a touchdown to Isaac Bruce. 59 yards.
72-yard catch. That was not a touchdown last week. And the minister of offense has given a little homily here to the Atlanta Falcons.
A perfect throw, a good adjustment to the ball, and then he's off to the end zone. And for the second week in a row, he's ignited his team in the first quarter. All right, 2 keys to this touchdown. First is the protection. In the blitz, the free safety comes up here. This is Isaac Bruce in the slot. Because there's no free safety, he can run right past the defensive back. And what Chris Miller did here, Vern, was throw it up the end and just let him run underneath it. I mean, it was the right call for the right defense. Now, I do not believe he crossed the plane to the end zone. Watch, his knees are down there, and he has not crossed the plane, which is right there. It should have been down on about the 1-yard line.
Here's the kickoff. Roel Preston, Jamal Anderson are deep. This is Preston out to the 31-yard line. So having given up a 59-yard touchdown pass, Isaac Bruce on the receiving end Atlanta gets the ball back. Busch Stadium from about 1,000 feet above St. Louis, Missouri. The Goodyear blimp, one of America's most enduring corporate images, is floating overhead, providing our aerial views tonight. Goodyear blimps have been appearing over major events since 1925. Well, there remain skeptics about these two teams coming in with 4-1 records, in large part because of the teams they have defeated to get here. Kansas City leads the league in terms of teams who had the there, I knew it was going to pop up.
I'll tell you, good lead there, Vern.
Yeah, well, I had stretched about. I was about to give it a Heimlich.
But there you see the skeptics. The Falcons, a 23% winning percentage, the teams they've beaten. But Vern,
yes,
they still have. Both these teams have 4-1 records. Nobody has better records than they do. And I think good teams, you have to beat the teams you're at least as good as. I mean, they're not as good as clearly the 49ers or the Cowboys in the NFC. But there's a whole mix after those two teams. There's a lot of teams in the mix, and you have to win those games. These teams this year have done that.
Second down and 9, final 66 seconds, first quarter. Metcalf at the 38-yard line.
And again, good tackling after the reception. I don't think we have seen really a yard after the catch other than that one little shovel pass to Hayward. That time the nickelback McBurrows. And he is number 21 in the slot. And when you get Eric Metcalf out in the open, this is just an extended run. Cleveland tried so hard to get him the ball in the open field. And all they're doing is splitting him out, dealing short passes, and letting him be in open space with little bodies around him.
Metcalf said at his press conference when he came down here, I think all I'm going to do is get longer handoffs. 3rd and 2. Jeff George. Oh, there's the arm. And he had him open.
Oh.
He had him open. Tyrone Brown making his first NFL start tonight.
And it looked like Tyrone Brown slowed down. He's up here at the top. Number 83, as you said, the first stop, pushing off him. He goes out of bounds, too. He went out of bounds, so he couldn't have caught this ball either. But he did slow down.
Slow down, Brown.
Yeah, if you can't get away from bump and run in the NFL, you can't play wide receiver.
Here's Straczynski on the punt for the second time. Todd Kitchen, number 81, waits for it near the 17. Nice and high. This one will be returned. Oh, boy.
Not very far. Was it worth it, Todd?
Toby Wright and Mike Skurlock made sure it wasn't worth it. My goodness.
You got to call a fair catch on those babies. Too many bodies.
Oh, that one hurt up here. We've reached the end of the first quarter of play. The only touchdown thus far, a 59-yard pass and catch on the receiving end, Isaac Bruce. Back at Busch Stadium on the banks of the Mississippi, St. Louis leading at 7-0 on the 59-yard pass reception by Isaac Bruce. And the Rams have it back now as we begin the second quarter. Vern Lundquist and Pat Hayden with you. Both teams 4-1. The winner tonight will have at least a momentary lead in the NFC West. Jesse Hester. That's only his third catch tonight. Alexander Wright started the season as the starter at one of the wideouts, and Alexander Wright on Wednesday this week underwent disc surgery, and he'll be back probably in November.
I tell you, the Rams have had success running slant routes with their slot receiver. Twice they ran it to Isaac Bruce, this time to Jesse Hester, and there is just a big crease in there. Good line protection, which allows Chris Miller to find the lane. The toughest thing is finding the passing lane, but he did for 18 yards there.
First down and 10. They hand it off to Bettis. That's what they want to see.
Yeah, in the dirt, too. The dirt part of this infield. Yeah. You get Jerome Bettis right up the middle in the dirt, and that is 8 yards in a cloud of dust.
course, the Cardinals, the baseball Cardinals, play here. The last game, football game played in Busch Stadium prior to this season was in 1987. And ironically, Ron Wolfley, who is one of the Rams, scored the last touchdown here for the St. Louis Cardinals in a 27-24 victory. Johnny Thomas is back in.
Yeah, and this is a different Jerome Bettis than the Rams have seen this year. And again, it starts with offensive line blocking. The offensive line has done a good job in this first half, but he's not dancing. He's not going side to side. And once that happens, he's not going to, make people miss. But once you get him through the hole, he is very hard to tackle, and he makes you pay. And in the fourth quarter, I think he'll be much more effective.
Bettis with 6 carries for 27 yards tonight. He's coming off a 31-yard effort in the loss at Indianapolis the other night. Time has been called. We'll be right back. 7-0 the score. Cardinals lead. That was an official's timeout. Rex Stewart, the umpire, slightly injured on the play. And time now for GMC truck leaders. The subject is rookie coaches, and I like the fact that the 2 leaders are anything but young puppies.
Yeah, they are, and they're experienced guys. Mike White, 59 years old. Rich Brooks in his 50s as well, both off to great starts. And Rich Brooks said, we probably could not have had this start had we stayed in Anaheim. I mean, he is absolutely delighted to be here. And as I said, you get a good defensive team and you get an enthusiastic crowd like that. That's a good mix, and it's going to be a tough place to play. A lot different than Anaheim was for the Rams the last few years.
First down and 10 now. St. Louis has it at their own, at the Atlanta 45-yard line. Miller is 8 of 9 throwing the ball. Oh, it's got Bruce open. Whoa, somebody blew a coverage.
Yeah, either that or he is that good. I mean, Isaac Bruce, and we talk about him being an emerging star, and Rich Brooks said this guy is in that elite star category. Now, Chris Miller, one of his great attributes, he is really accurate, and he protects the ball, and he throws and makes good decisions, and he's made them all right tonight. But they have not stopped the slot receiver yet. I'm talking about the Falcons. This was a concern of Joe Herring, their defensive coordinator, that said the defensive backfield has not held up for us.
We've just begun the second quarter. Bruce already over 100 yards in receptions. Here's Bettis down to the 15-yard line. And for Bettis, that is his 7th carry. He's now got 30 yards. And Chris Miller, 9 of 10. Isaac Bruce with 4 catches for 101 yards. Second down and 6. Yeah, the red zone stats, 13 times inside the 20 this year for St. Louis. 5 touchdowns. That's not exactly as good as you'd like. Bettis.
Let's go back to that pass to Isaac Bruce and show you why the slot guy is coming so wide open. This is the slot guy, but this is the back coming out. You're going to see 2 or 3 guys just jump on the back, and he comes wide open here. I mean, a lot of concern about the 4-yard pass. Meanwhile, Isaac Bruce is running behind the defensive backs and linebackers. I mean, I think you need to be stopping Isaac Bruce first, maybe jamming him, but he's been unimpeded off the line of scrimmage and induced as well.
I wondered if you were going to get those 2 in the same sentence.
You didn't think I would this early, did you?
I thought it was terrific. Well done. Here's the toss to Johnny Bailey. Touchdown, St. Louis. That's the 5th carry of the season for Johnny Bailey.
And did Wayne Gandy, number 70, the left tackle, lead the way for Johnny Bailey? Well, Jack Riley, the offensive coordinator, has called a terrific game this first half. And June Jones's defense, he was concerned. There's Jack Riley. They have done just a great job of calling the plays and then executing them.
Bailey, as we told you, missed a couple of games with a fractured toe, a small toe. He's back. Didn't play all that well last week, but gets the touchdown. The extra point from McLaughlin. Steve McLaughlin is up and good.
This is too easy, Vern. The left tackle, 70, Wayne Gandy, is out in front. Leo Goes, number 79, makes the block. And Johnny Bailey just stands up going in. And that time he did cross the end zone.
Clay Matthews and Jesse Tuggle leading a conversation. Darryl Talley's also a part of it, trying to figure out ways they can stop the St. Louis Rams. They haven't done it yet. 14-0 is the score. The Rams getting ready to kick off. Steve McLaughlin. Roel Preston will grab this at the 7. Gets it out near the 25-yard line. And let's go back and take a look at the touchdown as Wolfley and Harper mix it up a little bit.
This is about as well executed a run for a touchdown as you're going to see. Left guard Goes, left tackle Gandy out in front of little Johnny Bailey, all 190 pounds. Then you pick up block, you seal off the inside, you get a block by your wide receiver Kinchin. Then you're going to see Gandy kind of pick off 2 guys as Bailey walks into the end zone. I mean, they sealed off the entire inside. That is a beautiful execution of an outside play by the Rams.
June Jones looks at the playlist.
Yeah.
What do we do now? 14-zip. Darrell Spencer starts in motion, comes back to the near side. There's the little wangle. And this catch made by Metcalf for a first down. That's a gain of 12 yards. Eric Metcalf, number 21.
Well, Eric Metcalf just has incredible change of direction speed. But he has been nullified tonight, I think, by some excellent Ram tackling by the defensive backfield. I've always thought of Metcalf as kind of the first amendment with hips, because he gets out in that open field and he can make people miss in open field.
I'm just going to think about what you said.
The First Amendment.
I want to think about it. There will be an answer.
Report back.
George. Batted down, number 23. Gerald McBurrows, who's the dime back, the 6th defensive back playing tonight. Rookie from Kansas.
And that matchup, Roman Pfeiffer and Craig Hayward, takes another scene. Watch number 58. First, he's checking to see if Hayward's coming out in the pass pattern, and when he doesn't, then he can come in and rush the quarterback. Gets there late, but he checks for the release by Hayward, and then he rushes the QB.
Jeff George, 5 of 8 now, 44 yards. Metcalf back in a wide receiver spot. Darrell Spencer in motion. Again, Terrence Mathis, J.J. Burden out with injuries tonight. Rush coming, Pfeiffer. Blitz, they got him. DeMarco Farr, number 75, his 4th sack of the season. And the first sack for the St. Louis Rams since their game against Carolina, when Sean Gilbert went out with an injury.
And DeMarco Farr is one of those guys. Nobody wanted him. He was a free agent, and he has had a terrific year. He is number 75. There's Gilbert on the outside. Roman Pfeiffer on the blitz. He wasn't actually even blocked. I mean, people were concerned with Pfeiffer and Gilbert. Nobody even blocked DeMarco Farr.
3rd and 16, 14-0 to score. 9:40 to go, first half. George lets it go, has a man, incomplete.
Twice he's had him.
Tyrone Brown.
Yeah, remember Tyrone Brown is subbing for J.J. Burden tonight, and they clearly do not have their timing together, because that is twice Tyrone Brown has run past the defensive back, and they've not been able to get him the ball.
Is that just a product of time not spent together?
Yes, absolutely. Although in a deep pattern, you would think you just give him a little bit more air. He's throwing a line drive. I think it gives him a little bit more air. It gives you a larger margin of error.
Dan Straczynski on to punt for the 3rd time. Low snap. Straczynski has it. This one will be returned. Wow. Long punt. Kinchin. Whoa. Darnell Walker downfield, number 45, to make the tackle. We've got time called. 53-yard punt, 5 on the return. George a little exasperated. 9:23 remaining first half on a splendid night. St. Louis out on top of the Atlanta Falcons.
Seen Jeff Blake and Carl Pickens hooked up for 7 touchdowns this year. Jeff Blake has had a sensational year for the Bengals.
And he has been rewarded, I understand.
Yes.
First down and 10. That's Marv Cook in motion, 14-0. Miller's in his last 9 passes in a row. Make it 10 in a row now for Chris Miller. He's 10 of 11. He missed his first, and Jesse Hester grabs this one. Ron Davis with the tackle.
You know, he said he's healthy, and he says, I'm able to move around the pocket like I haven't been able to do for the last few years. You know, and he has been in and out of the lineup with the Rams a year ago, and this year he's been in most of the time. He did suffer 1 concussion, and I think he's becoming the leader now because he's in there. Last year, when you're in and out, it's hard to be the leader of the team, but he is now this year. He's playing every down.
Johnny Thomas back in, number 18, a wide receiver. They hand it off to Leonard Russell, number 42. Well, the Rams have everything working for them now.
This Falcon defense has to make a stand, Verner. This game is going to get out of hand, and this crowd is going to get out of hand. Good vision here by Leonard Russell. And sometimes we don't give power backs like Leonard Russell enough credit for the vision they show. Goas and Gandy again out in front. Gandy kind of sealing the inside as he did in the touchdown run. But Leonard Russell bounces it outside, and they've got everything going. And Jerome Bettis is working, Leonard Russell's working, and that's Joe Herring, the defensive coordinator, and he's got to find a way to slow this attack down.
First down and 10 from the 43. 14-0 is the score. St. Louis on top. They test the middle for Leonard Russell. I mean, they've got a couple of big backs. This is a kid who was over 1,000 yards 2 years ago in New England, then went to Denver, where last year he was above 600. Boy, players change in the new era, don't they?
Hey, I think it's also hard, and it's one of the reasons you're seeing a lot of offensive teams stutter this year, because it takes a lot of continuity and teams playing together. And with all these players moving around, I think it's hurt offensive football this year.
Rich Brooks looking on. 2nd and 7. 14-0 Rams on top. Russell, big hole.
Hey, Vern, you know, this Falcon defense is just not getting it done. They're playing like conscientious objectors. Not anyone is getting anywhere near the ball carrier. I mean, this is a tremendous hole here, right, over the left side. Goas and Gandy on the left side. You know, Chris Dolman took an upfield rush. Gandy just kicks him outside, and it just created a hole for Russell.
Mo Gardner got caught in a trap and couldn't get there to make the play. And it's a gain of 14 and another first down at the 40. Well, this is the 4th drive. They've scored on 2 of them. They have not been stopped yet. Russell darts to the left. Darryl Talley is a part of the tackle. Longtime Buffalo Bill, who's in his first year in Atlanta.
And Joe Herring, the defensive coordinator, is saying, hey, you know, we like everything that he brings as a player physically in his 13th year, but what we really like is his attitude. We said, well, we needed some guys around here that hated to lose, that weren't satisfied, and we've had too many guys like that in the past. He said he brought an entirely different attitude to this Falcon defense.
2nd down and 6. Jerome Bettis checks in for Russell now in the backfield. 2 wide receivers, wide right. Miller has now hit 11 in a row. Isaac Bruce in front of Ron Davis. We're at Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis. I remember when this facility was built in 1966. It kind of revitalized the downtown area in St. Louis, Missouri. And now football being played here once again. This was thought to be the last game. Probably won't be. The new indoor arena not quite ready, though no announcement has been made. Vern Lundquist, Pat Hayden. It's 14-0. Rams on top, and they threaten again with the first down.
And the Falcons desperately need a takeaway.
Hand off to Bettis. Talley got knocked away. Wow.
Boy. They've got everything going. They don't even need any of the trick plays they've used so well and effectively this year. And Joe Herring has to be befuddled because they have run inside. That time they've run 2 times outside, once with Russell, this time with Bettis, and they've thrown the ball all over the field. So there's been a lot of lead players. That time Clarence Jones, number 72, the tackle, the reserve tackle, comes in and leads the way. But if the Atlanta defense doesn't cause a turnover, they're in major trouble right now.
First and goal, St. Louis. Ball at the 9. Bettis gets a couple down near the 6-yard line. For Jerome Bettis. There's Jeff George.
We said this year has gone a little bit differently for him in that he has brought his team from behind twice this year. He's played very well late in the games, and he's going to have to play better this game, but certainly late in this game if they're going to have a chance.
14-0 right now. The scores have come on a 59-yard pass, Miller to Bruce, and a 12-yard run, Johnny Bailey. And now the St. Louis Rams threaten again. Rostek over the ball. Miller has hit 11 in a row. Blitz is coming. They hand it off. And this time there's a negative play back to the 10-yard line.
Yeah, it sure looked like Darryl Talley was in the neutral zone on that one from that angle. But that's the kind of play they needed. I mean, they need to get some penetration. The offensive line of the Rams have just dominated here in this game.
Now Todd Kinchin comes back in. He replaces Pat Carter.
And Todd Kinchin's a guy that runs all sorts of unusual plays for these Rams. Punt returns, we saw him hurdle a moment ago.
Third and goal from the 10. Johnny Bailey back in the lineup. Kinchin and Bruce line up to the right. Now that's Bruce in motion. Miller into the flat. It was tipped. And the successful pass completion string ends at 11. By the way, if you were wondering about a record,
I was.
The club record is not. I looked in here thinking I would see Pat Hayden.
I had the most consecutive handoffs. Here's the tip.
Jim Everett, 18.
Yep. It was Chris Dolman who got his hand up, tipped that one away.
Chris Dolman with the tip, and Steve McLaughlin is on to try the field goal now. McLaughlin 3 of 3 from under 30 yards. Had one bad game. That was against Carolina. Had one blocked and missed a couple. He's 6 of 10 for the season. Miller is the holder. Blocked.
Yep.
That's his second one blocked. And it's a big play by Roger Harper. Big return now. And here comes Kevin Ross. He's still going. He's got a convoy. There are no flags. Kevin Ross, touchdown.
82 yards on the blocked kick. And there's Frank Gantz, the special teams coach. Said last night, I didn't think we had a chance to block a punt or a kick, but sometimes it's Roger Harper, number 47. And I believe Roger Harper, who normally plays free safety. Secondly, right in the gap. Comes right in the gap. He gets his left arm on it.
And then Kevin Ross picked it up, and look at the dance he did on the sidelines.
Clay Matthews gets a block. Terry Taylor gets one. Harper's out in front of him again. And then Ron Davis just kind of screens his guy off. 83 yards on that return.
And the second block of a field goal from McLaughlin this year. The last one was in Carolina. Wasn't as costly. Low snap. Straczynski with a good job holding. And Morton Anderson gets the extra point.
And his consecutive game streak of scoring, 180 games. But this is just what they absolutely needed. Special teams came up with a play. Harper blocks it. Kevin Ross makes like a running back. And we got a pretty good ball game now. The anatomy of this block kick, it's really number 24, Terry Taylor, that sets he comes upfield. The wingback comes here, creates a seam for this man right here to come in and block it. That's Roger Harper. So Terry Taylor on the outside, the wing goes out, creates a huge gap. Harper just jumps through it, and the result is a blocked field goal and then the touchdown. And this was good running by Kevin Ross when he looked like a halfback.
Instead of a 12-year veteran defensive back. 83 yards in the blocked field goal for a touchdown. Here's Todd, Johnny Thomas, and he's got some room, and he is tripped up as he crosses the 25-yard line. Frank Gantz, who has been a guru on special teams, Kansas City, Detroit, head coach for a while. Fascinating man. take a look at the Lee Sport scoreboard, and of course no other games being played tonight, so our scoreboard is a look forward to the schedule this weekend. Who do you like in that Jets-Carolina game? You thought about that a lot?
I was actually thinking about that 49er Colts game.
Yes.
Actually, and you know, we saw the Colts on tape this week. Boy, they look like they are really coming alive. Two big wins in a row for them.
What a victory down in Miami last week. 1st and 10 from the 27, 14-7. Miller with a play action into the flat for Marv Cook. He's down at the 30. That's no incomplete pass. Trapped it.
Can you imagine that? 2 incompletes in a row?
Ever happened to you?
No, very often.
Wearing that uniform?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does it feel funny for you at all to see the St. Louis Rams in these uniforms?
It is now. You know, people in Los Angeles really have been very blasé about it. It doesn't seem to be, or apathetic may be the better word, but when you get here and you see this crowd, you think maybe what could have been in Anaheim. But this has been, it's a great environment for these players. I think particularly their defensive players, because they're feeding off this crowd.
Although the crowd is a little bit starved right now. 2:49 to go before halftime. Miller, little pressure, finds Bettis. Bettis, who doesn't catch that many out of the backfield. That's only his 4th of the year.
Boy, everybody tonight for the Rams have been a weapon. I mean, they've used 2 running backs as receivers and running backs. We've seen Leonard Russell, that time Jerome Bettis, out in the flat. They've used Hester. They've used tight ends. Isaac Bruce has been a big guy. I mean, this is a well-disciplined, a very good disciplined team, and a real good game plan. A lot of times, you know, you draw up these game plans, they don't work. Well, for the Rams tonight, it's working.
Chris Miller is 12 of 15, 184 yards. 1 300-yard game this season. Play action, a little pressure. Miller heads to his right. Jumpy gathers chasing him and throws it in the general vicinity of his teammates Todd Light, Roman Pfeiffer. Coming up on the Fruit of the Loom halftime report, Vince Cellini, Mark May, Kevin Kiley will have NFL news and notes, including updates on Jerry Jones and Deion Sanders. Plus, they'll have a live interview with the Bills' Bruce Smith. That's all coming up on the Fruit of the Loom halftime report. 2nd down. Johnny Thomas back in. Miller thought they might be able to get something deep with Thomas. 2nd down and 10. It won't be on this play.
Yeah, they're 4 yards in a cloud of dust again. You see that? Jerome Bettis likes that. What is that? The pitcher's mound or that second base?
No, Pat. That's second base.
There you go. Second base.
See, there's a little circular area down there that's 60 feet away from home plate.
Hey, baseball's
I know you were the
it?
captain of the cricket team at Oxford. How could you know baseball?
Gotcha.
14-7, St. Louis leads it to the 2-minute warning, and floating above all this action, a very familiar sight, the Goodyear blimp. Goodyear has been providing such aerial views for nearly 30 years. And as they look down, they can see to our left here at Busch Stadium the remnants of a baseball season. See, Pat, remember a couple weeks ago we showed those 4 stars in the map of New Jersey?
What's that?
That's called home plate.
Okay.
That
first.
There
you go.
Right there.
Okay.
Okay. This is second.
I got him with you so far.
Okay. All right. And this guy right there, 3rd.
Hey, you know, it was like I said, it's an Oxford thing. I played cricket. I know what that feels like.
Some guys are born here and they think they've hit a triple. Good play. Good defensive play by guess who? Kevin Ross. Troy Drayton, the tight end, made the catch before Ross made the tackle. Yeah, you know, that was an important stop for Kevin Ross and this defense, because the defense has not done a very good job of stopping the Rams, and now they force a punt, and they're going to have 3 timeouts remaining. Number 36 is Kevin Ross. Now he's keyed in, and his guy is the tight end. That's to fight through some traffic, kind of like a linebacker does. Gets his head on the right side and knocks Drayton out of bounds. It forces the punt. Sean Landeta on to punt. Eric Metcalf waits for it at the 12-yard line. Maybe it's a punt. You never know with these Rams. That's right. Yeah. 4th and short. Landeta sends it deep. Metcalf back. Has it. Oh, excellent coverage. Mike Scurlock, number 22. Well, he's a good special teamer. Somebody needs to tell him the cameras are on this side.
Yeah,
there we go.
There you go.
Skurlock, a rookie this year from Arizona.
And Vern, I think as a quarterback, Jeff George, these are the moments you really define yourself and your career. You have 3 timeouts remaining. You're playing in a tough place to play. Your team is trailing by 7 points. He's played well late in the game so far this year, but this is late in this first half, and this is where they really need him to play well. You'd love to go in halftime tied when your defense has played as badly as they have.
And a footnote to this first half. Let's not forget, twice he's had Troy Brown open deep, Tyrone Brown, and they have misconnected both times. Brown is wide left again. George caught and dropped at 5. Roman Pfeiffer.
Jeff George without 2 of his starting receivers. But Roman Pfeiffer, number 58. Again, first he's seeing if his guy's coming out in the pass pattern. He's not, so then he's free to rush the quarterback. I mean, that's a heads-up play by Roman Pfeiffer. He's got to check to see if Hayward's out in the pattern. If Hayward blocks, then he blitzes the quarterback. Good defensive scheme.
1:42 to go, and time has been called by the St. Louis Rams. They have 2 left. On November 8th, TNT takes NFL fans where they've never been before. Don't miss 6 days to Sunday, a unique behind-the-scenes look at the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings as they prepared for their Sunday night showdown back in September. That show on TNT premieres Wednesday, November 8th.
And how many days will it take the blimp to get from here back to Los Angeles?
We checked on that because this is a California kind of laid-back blimp.
Yeah.
5 days. A lot of 6 days.
Yeah, it was kind of dealing with the promo there, Vern. You got to stay with me a little bit.
Oh, 6 days.
There you go. 6 days to Sunday and 6 days to Los Angeles.
Well, and the extra day is because they can't go over the Rocky Mountains.
They got to go through what, Phoenix?
They got to go down to Phoenix and take a right. That's a nice thing, What that the guys in the covered wagons could have done that. Leave from here, go down to Phoenix and hook a right. Easier way to get to California. We'd have never had the Donner pass them. There's the pass out to the 11-yard line. Darrell Spencer makes the grab at the 84. At the number 84 at the 11. And let's see if Atlanta's in any hurry. They don't seem to be.
Well, this is a down. It's an important down.
3rd and 10 at the 11. Stunts. George steps up. It's a go. Incomplete for Hayward. Roman Pfeiffer.
Yep. At the very beginning of this broadcast, we said the game within the game. Roman Pfeiffer against Craig Hayward. And this first half, it has been predominantly won by Roman Pfeiffer. And what Roman Pfeiffer, number 58, is doing, he's just checking on Hayward, making sure he's not going out. Hayward gets dumped. He was just going to hit somebody, and then Pfeiffer started to rush, saw Hayward slip out in the pass pattern, and knocks the ball away. That's the MVP of the Rams season thus far.
And that brings on Straczynski.
And the Rams are going to have very good field position with 2 timeouts remaining.
Return is on all the way. Kinchin drifts over to his left, grabs it at the 40. Lateral pass to Isaac Bruce. One hopper. Here comes Bruce. He's got 2 blockers in front. Skurlock and McBoyles. He's out of bounds at the 9.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it?
Second week in a row they've tried it. They did it on a kickoff in Indianapolis.
And Rich Brooks, I think, has really brought some life into the NFL. It happens virtually every week from them. And this is a great call on AstroTurf. It's hard to do this on grass. But Kinchin with a good throw. The one hopper to Isaac Bruce. Short just past first base. A good stop by the first baseman there, Isaac Bruce. Picks up some blocks downfield. Straczynski gets a hand on him and knocks him out of bounds. 52-yard play. And the key way, you take a couple steps forward, the one hopper, nice tight spiral, so you get it easy to bounce to catch.
6-3 to 4 if you're scoring at home.
And this is fun. I mean, the Rams for years have been pretty doggone boring, I have to admit. They're fun. They're fun to watch.
First and goal, 56 seconds to go in the half. Miller. Incomplete. Drayton 1 foot out. 2nd down.
Well, the Rams have run fake punts. They have run reverses. They've run reverse passes. They've done a little bit of everything, trying to capitalize on the big special teams play here. Each team has had a great special teams play, and the foot is clearly out of bounds.
Tell you, that lateral, the 1-hop lateral, reminded me almost immediately of a play I saw Wisconsin run against Illinois. They called it euphemistically the oh my play. They do it from scrimmage, though. You bounce pass it back once and the linemen say oh dear, and something like that. Time has been called by St. Louis. That leaves them with 1. Isaac Bruce, and what a coming out party for him on a national stage tonight.
An emerging star in the National Football League. Out of the slot formation, makes a tough catch with an adjustment. The long catch for the touchdown where he outruns a defender. And he gets a block. He does a little bit of everything. Clears out a touchdown run on that one. And then the special teams play. You've seen him block, catch, run, and make it a terrific play on this special teams play. I mean, Isaac Bruce is not an emerging star. He's a star. Plain and simple.
Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 1 of 15 kids. Of course, Michael Irvin also grew up in Fort Lauderdale, and we were chatting with Isaac Bruce 2 days ago about the fact that Michael Irvin is 1 of 15 kids. The last time a field goal was blocked in return for a touchdown against the Rams, Minnesota.
It was an NFC Championship game. Bobby Bryant.
You played it.
Yeah, right? Unfortunately.
Here's Miller. Looks in the end zone. Bruce incomplete.
Had him.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. But you know the thing about Chris Miller? He's not taking any chances with the throws. He knows his defense is shutting Atlanta down. And he put that one out in the corner where Isaac Bruce was going to catch it, and no Falcon was going to have any chance whatsoever. He is patient, and he is accurate. And that's the reason the Rams are 4-1, or a big reason they're 4-1.
Wayne Sevier, the special teams coach, looking on with
they're winking at each other, aren't they?
Yes, they are. 3rd and goal from the 9. 14-7. 47 seconds, 46 to go before halftime. Miller. Oh, it's got Bruce wide open. Oh, he strolled in. Wow. Darnell Walker was the victim.
Hey, Vern, there was some great blitz pickup, I think, by the back of the Rams in the offensive line that allowed Chris Miller to do it. It was Johnny Miller and a left guard, Leo Golis, who were able to do it. And the center, Bernd Brostek. I mean, that is really good protection, and that's why the receiver was wide open.
McLaughlin for the extra point. Miller with a hole.
Hey, folks, you have to watch the center, 61, Bernd Brostek. He goes one way left, and then he's going to come back into the picture. And he picked up the blitz along with Johnny Bailey, but tremendous blocking by Brostek. And then with the blitz, you get a wide receiver running absolutely wide open on a crossing route, and they've scored their 21st point of this first half. 2 touchdowns for Isaac Bruce.
He's saying hello to Memphis, where he makes his offseason home now. Played collegiately at Memphis State. Isaac Bruce.
Hey, Vern, no one covered Isaac Bruce whatsoever. You're going to see a bunch of guys blitz. Here's Bruce. He comes over here. There's nobody on him. I mean, the defense, they're playing like Switzerland. I mean, they're neutral. I mean, there isn't anybody.
I thought you meant there were holes in the cheese.
Yeah. I mean, no. Isaac Bruce, nobody covered a guy.
They could use a Heimlich.
Yeah. You know, I have to thank you.
Yes.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, it hit actually the national news today, but I had trouble yesterday at the restaurant. My partner, Vern Lundquist, gave me the Heimlich maneuver and perhaps saved my life. A lot of my fans may not appreciate that, but thanks, Vern. I wanted to thank you. There it is.
Well, it was
choke. I was choking yesterday.
It was frightening football, but it all worked out just fine.
Thank you, pal.
Roel Preston. Boy, I can't believe that missed assignment on Isaac Bruce.
Well, you understand the blitz part of it, but you still have to have somebody cover a wide receiver, and there wasn't anybody even close to covering Isaac Bruce. Now, this is a tough situation for the Falcons and their offense, and Jeff George. He finds himself once again having to carry a team. And when your defense is struggling, as the Falcons are, your offensive team or your special teams, but your quarterback has to make something happen. If it doesn't happen here, he gets first possession in that second half, and that will really set a tone for the second half.
Atlanta does have all 3 timeouts remaining in the first half. George has been sacked twice, puts this one on the line, and it's incomplete. Intended for Burt Emanuel, and a little altercation breaks out back at the 15-yard line with Sean Gilbert and Bob Whitfield. Gilbert's a little frisky. He's missed a couple of games with an injury.
And, you know, he's playing a new position. Willie Shaw, the defensive coordinator, has always thought of Sean Gilbert as a defensive end rather than defensive tackle. And he has played great for the Rams at defensive end. Missed the last 2 games. But in their opener against Green Bay, he had 3 pressures that led to turnovers. And that was the difference in that ball game.
32 seconds to go. First half. 2nd and 10. Shovel pass. Hayward. Lot of room. And boy, he's got 250 of it going west.
And 3 guys blocked Roman Pfeiffer. You know, June Jones knows that Roman Pfeiffer has Craig Hayward one-on-one, as they call a timeout. And there were 3 guys blocking Roman Pfeiffer that time. Here it is. I mean, June Jones, the head coach, has run this offense for a long time and knows everybody really kind of defends in the same way. He gets pummeled. I'm talking about Roman Pfeiffer, and that's allowed Craig Hayward to pick up the first down. Most of this first half, though, has belonged to Pfeiffer. This one goes to Hayward and those offensive linemen out in front of him. You know, the 2 longest plays, I think, have been those 2 shovel passes to Craig Hayward.
That one worked for 16, and they've got it out to the 41-yard line.
And think about their weapon in Morton Anderson. I mean, they still have 2 timeouts remaining, 22 seconds. But Morton Anderson, who has kicked, you know, a 60-yard field goal in his career, he is struggling with a calf injury, but said, hey, I could easily kick it from 60 yards still.
He has 1 miss this season, and that was from 58. He was wide left. Had plenty of distance. That was to win the game in regulation time. First down and 10 from the 41. George gets a little pressure. Incomplete.
And Tyrone Brown is having a rough first half here. That ball should have been caught. Perfectly thrown by Jeff George. And Tyrone Brown is letting a great opportunity slip through his hands, literally and figuratively.
3 times now he's been open and hasn't touched the ball.
They got to touch that ball momentarily, I think.
Yeah. 2nd down. 17 seconds to go first half. 21-7. St. Louis leads it. Hayward. With the 43. They'll call time and stop the clock with 9 seconds remaining.
That's been their best play this first half. 3 times. The shovel pass to Hayward. They double team Roman Pfeiffer. And June Jones goes back to the play that got him success.
Now possibly chance for 1 more play before giving either Zendejas or Morton Anderson a chance.
Well,
again.
yeah, I see Zendejas warming up.
Yeah.
And he wins it for the worst face mask in the NFL award. He's got the double bar working this year. Last year just had the single bar.
That thing looks like it was used in 1937.
Yeah. and not well. But, you know, Morton Anderson coming in last week, he hurt himself in practice. His left calf, he hurt that left calf. They weren't sure at all whether he was going to play at any point. But Zendejas will get the opportunity perhaps for a long field goal. The former Ram.
15, it's right. Anderson 15 of 16 this season, but told us last night that the most significant thing for him in this game is not to re-injure himself.
Well, he kept the scoring streak alive, but this guy, he will be the difference in 2 or 3 more Falcon games. Has been twice this year already, as he won 2 times in overtime with kicks.
One time against his former team in New Orleans. He just smiled very broadly when we asked him how satisfactory that was. On first down, here's George. Timeout is called with 2 seconds left. They'll have a chance for the field goal. Bert Emanuel, a former quarterback at Rice, made the catch.
And this is why so many people, myself included, are just amazed at Jeff George's ability. This ball comes out of his hand so quickly and with so much velocity and accuracy, and it makes him a very special guy. And the velocity, it just doesn't give the defensive back time to recover. You know, you have a cushion, and with most quarterbacks, by the time the ball gets there, you have a chance to recover and maybe knock it away. But his ball gets there so fast, you don't.
That was a 21-yard gain, Jeff George to Bert Emanuel. And Zendejas will have a field goal attempt of 40 yards now. Tony Zendejas.
I love that face mask.
It looks like one of those,
you know, the chin mask.
Looks like a witching stick. You know, he's looking for water and it's pointing straight down. There's water at the pitcher's mound.
Oh.
That's not a face mask. That's a chin guard.
Yeah, that's it. He's pulling it lower there. You see that? Man.
He lives in a house without mirrors.
Oh. Why does he have the double chin strap there, too? You know, why does the kicker need that?
40 yards. Zendejas from Straczynski's hold. High snap. Ball is down. Kick is up. Just inside the right upright. So it pays dividends, does the signing of Tony Zendejas a couple of days ago.
See him look over the Rams bench there a little bit. As time expired.
Straczynski with a nice job of getting the ball down. Zendejas on the board. He knew it all along, didn't he? 21-10 at the halftime break. Touchdowns, 2 punts, a blocked field goal in their 6 possessions. And the Rams, look at the total yardage, 292 to 105.
Just in the possession chart there, you see they're playing well both offensively and defensively. And then their special teams set up a touchdown, too.
McLaughlin, Roel Preston comes up and grabs it at the 10. Runs into heavy traffic as he gets to the 30-yard line, so a 20-yard return for Roel Preston.
Yeah, and this is the time for June Jones and for Jeff George to make something happen. We talked about an opening drive and the adjustments at halftime. The thing about the run and shoot is they don't necessarily have game plans. You just go out and you call the same plays. But if you watch that first half, the play they had most success with was that little shovel pass to Craig Hayward. The Rams have not stopped it yet, and they had to force them to stop it.
21-10 is the score. Atlanta got on the boards with a 40-yard field goal. Tony Zendejas as the half ended. Their other touchdown came on an 83-yard return with a blocked field goal. George with the play action. Left side. Finds Eric Metcalf, and that should be good for a 10-yard gain. Metcalf's dad, Terry Metcalf, we've mentioned a couple of times, came here to St. Louis in '73 and electrified the crowds here for a number of years before moving on to the CFL and then one final season in Washington. Terry Metcalf now living out in Seattle.
Well, his father set the NFL record for combined yards in 1975 with a little over 2,400, and that's one of the goals Eric has in his dream world, to try to have more total yards in fewer carries and receptions.
And here's the stretch of the chain. He may have come up just short. Did indeed.
Really can't say enough about the tackling of this Rams secondary, particularly on Eric Metcalf, who is one of the most difficult players to stop in the open field. You know, there are great players in the NFL, and then there are really exciting ones, and Eric Metcalf is one of those. Todd Light, remember the opening drive, stopped Metcalf twice on the opening drive in open field. Toby Wright on the last play.
Got a brief glimpse of Anthony Parker as well. They're going with 5 or 6 defensive backs, and there's something that never happened in Anaheim the last few years. The defensive line urging the crowd to join them, and people putting down their Chardonnay and saying, let's do it.
And more than 22,000 responding.
Yes. Mitch Lyons is in at tight end. Jimmy Jones.
I like the way you say that. That was good.
Can you imagine the confusion in Dallas when he played there for Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones?
Yeah. Jimmy, not that Jones.
Yeah,
you
right.
Mean, right? You know, just the old swim move, you know, number 98, just when you get your head over the center. The center's got his hands on the football. He can't get his own hands on the defensive player. That's why you put a nose tackle over the center sometimes, let him get a swim move, and the center cannot recover in time.
3rd and 3. Lyons sets up in a wing to the right side. Play action. George pulls it up and lets it go deep. Could be tipped and intercepted. It's out of bounds. Keith Lyle got it.
Yeah, the receiver went out of bounds as well. Twice we've seen these corners for the Rams push the wide receivers out. Now, once that happens, you can't be the first player to touch the ball. Todd Light, he didn't really push him. I guess a little bit of the hip. But Emmanuel goes out. And this is, you see the tip ball, this is where the Rams have gotten all those interceptions. They lead the NFL with 10 of them. It usually comes because of defensive line pressure and tip balls, but he didn't keep his feet in on that one.
Lyle has 2 of the 10 this season. And after a 2nd down and about a foot, Atlanta's got to punt. Straczynski. Kitchen at the 15. Flag is down. This one may come back. Kitchen has Straczynski to beat. He's exciting.
He is. I mean, he jumps. He does all the things you're not really supposed to be doing. You're kind of hurling players. But on all these trick plays the Rams have run, he is generally involved in them. We've got a flag and a brawl.
The flag preceded the brawl.
I keep looking for the Rams thing with the LA Rams, but it's St. Louis here. I'm looking up the charts. Okay. Dana Howard involved with that one. It's going to be the Todd Light, number 41, block in the back and the hold on Montgomery. And Todd Light, who has played so well as a corner tonight, particularly in the tackling department, gets called. McKinchen's a kind of a fun guy to watch, isn't he?
Number 41, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
That wipes out a 37-yard punt return, Todd Kinchin. The Rams have it. The St. Louis Rams at their own 10-yard line. Rams, of course, came to St. Louis this summer from Los Angeles, brought some of their equipment with them. This was worn by number 11 back in the late 70s.
Yeah, remember Zendejas' face mask? This may be worse. But this guy knows the actual difference between a kit and a caboodle. Not many guys do.
He's getting a well-lathered jump start on Halloween. This one is thrown away, and the receiver slipped. And Isaac Bruce is claiming he got bumped.
Well, these next 2 downs for the Rams, I think, are important downs. You know, don't you love a guy who plays with a smile on his face? He does, and he does, and he should. But you know, now they're 2nd and 10 backed up, and you know, this is still a game. Although the Falcons have struggled certainly defensively, and they haven't done a lot offensively, this game is clearly not out of reach, and you don't want to give them good field position. So they're thinking we got to pick up a couple 1st downs here.
2nd down and 10, 21 to 10 to score. Quick setup, pass into the flat, caught. That one grabbed by Todd Kinchin, number 81.
And the Rams have thrown every kind of pass. Screens, short ones, long ones, quick outs, inside, outside. If they can keep this up, they can be a very difficult team to defend. They're using everybody on the field, every player, and every part of the field.
Johnny Bailey checks in now. He's got one of the touchdowns. He scored on a 12-yard run. Bailey, the lone setback on 3rd and 2. First down at the 36. The tight end makes the grab.
Wayne Gandy, the left tackle, number 70 for the Rams, has really had a very good evening against Chris Dolman, who came into this game leading the NFL in sacks. And if you know where your quarterback's going to be, it's a lot easier just to kind of push your guy right past him. Chris Miller steps up in the pocket, completes a ball for 17 yards in the first down. But boy, Gandy, he was the guy out in front on the touchdown run by Johnny Bailey as well.
Last year's #1 pick out of Auburn. Johnny Thomas checks in at wide receiver now, joining Bruce on the left side. Bettis, count of 12, goes back to the right and is stopped. One of the few times tonight that Jerome Bettis has been stopped. He's carried 12 times. And he has picked up an even 60 yards. That's 5 per carry. Even I can figure that out.
That's good math.
Math whiz,
and you didn't have to take off your shoes and socks. I'm proud of you.
I know. Well, we don't want me to take off my shoes and socks.
Thank you.
2nd down and 8. There's a unanimous demand that I not do that.
You will be going into the Heimlich Hall of Fame, though, later.
I knew that working with all those Salchows and double axles would someday lead to a Heimlich. 2nd down and 10.
You're evolving.
Proof of Darwin's theory.
Yeah.
Got him. And him is Jumpy Gathers, number 97, 3rd sack of the season, first tonight.
And June Jones was talking to us about Jumpy Gathers and said, if we have one guy from the inside who can actually overpower people and push people back and kind of suck up offensive linemen, it's Jumpy Gathers, number 97. Comes right off Goas, number 79, just kind of throws him away. But Chris Miller, again, protecting the lead, doing the right thing, not forcing the ball.
Jumpy Gathers, who most recently played for the Washington Redskins, longtime defensive lineman in New Orleans.
And he's got the nose thing working.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. 3rd and 18. Miller, short for Johnny Bailey. Bailey picks it up. The Los Angeles, I did it first time. Los Angeles Rams, and it was me first.
Yeah, I knew you would.
That is only the 5th time they have fumbled all season, and they've only lost one. That was last week.
This is just the break that, really the Falcon defense needed. It was trying to create. Alton Montgomery, number 22, gets his left hand in there, pokes it away. I think if he just held on to Johnny Bailey, is perhaps the move he should have made, hold on to Bailey, maybe the Falcons have a chance to recover it.
Landetta will punt it away to Eric Metcalf. Short. Yeah, sure did. A flag is also down.
When I see that kind of punt, I always remember Eric Metcalf in that game against Pittsburgh when we returned 2 touchdowns. Remember, one of them was just like that, right by the sideline.
And remember, Landetta told us yesterday that they would try some line drive punts today to kick away from this guy. So that may have been by design. If it was, he's going to get a chance to do it over again.
Now, at least he's got that face mask up around his face. He's got the one bar, but that's where it's supposed to be.
As opposed to?
Well, Zendejas had that thing way down covering his chin.
Man downfield early on the kicking team, number 32. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
I don't. Sean's not wearing that for protection. That's to prove he's a football player.
I guess. Yeah, I guess. Here's what you hate to try to give Eric Metcalf another chance. Even though you have a specific plan for Eric Metcalf, as the Rams do. This is a guy that has returned 5 punts for touchdowns and 3 kickoffs for touchdowns.
And he's getting ready to field another one.
See, while he was over there actually talking to some of the Rams on the sideline, would give him a hard time. He kind of pointed right back at him.
Moves up to the 35. Landetta gets ready to try it all over. This one bounces at the 40. Metcalf has it. Watch out. Watch out. There are no flags. This is Eric Metcalf at his best.
You don't give Eric Metcalf a second chance, Vern. 2 special team touchdowns by the Falcons. Frank Gantz, the special team coach for the Falcons, and a disappointed Wayne Sevier for the Rams. You know, the penalty killed the Rams. And it was just, remember what we talked about, the punt return against Pittsburgh where he had 2 of them. It was the same kind of thing. It hit the ground, it bounced a couple of times. And here he goes. And he's got tremendous scoring range. You got a lot of guys have the nose for the goal line at the 10-yard line. Well, his starts at about the 50. His nose for the goal line. 67-yard return. Whew. That makes it 6 punt touchdowns or returns for touchdowns.
Officially, they're going to take 1 yard away from him.
Darn. I knew I counted incorrectly again.
It's that Oxford education.
Man.
It fails you at the most critical times.
It does. But don't you feel for the Rams right now? They had him blocked, and it was the pump. They gave him the second chance. You can't do that to guys like that.
And now Atlanta will go for 2. This is something they've accomplished twice this year.
Yep.
But the man who's caught passes both times is inactive. Terrence Mathis.
Good catch. I was going to give you that trivia question. Who has more 2-point conversions in the history of the NFL than anybody?
Terrence Mathis.
There you go. With 4.
Here's George into the flat. Eric Metcalf.
And Todd Line again. And June Jones is upset because that ball got to him a little too quickly, and it gave the Ram defense way too much time to react. Okay, a beautiful setup by Eric Metcalf. He's waving guys off. Then it hits a Ram. He picks it up as it bounces around. The Rams had slowed down and stopped. And to give him the second chance, he breaks a tackle. And we have another score by Eric Metcalf on a punt return. His 6th.
This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the St. Louis Rams and the National Football League is prohibited.
Splendid night in St. Louis, but the game has gotten a little closer than the Rams and their fans would like. 21-16 now. Atlanta has climbed back within 5. Special teams play twice tonight. Here's the kickoff, and it's taken by Johnny Thomas. A flag is down. This one might come back.
Oh, this is great.
This has been fun, hasn't it?
This has been fun. This is what you wish every game would be like.
Brad Edwards makes the tackle, number 27, but let's listen to Walt Coleman. I think this is going back to the east toward the Mississippi River.
Ooh. Nice compass.
Little geographical direction. Well,
all right, guys. There's Frank Gantz, the special teams coach for the Falcons, who has been magnificent no matter where he has been. You know, Zen Dejas got the bad face mask. And where he's going to try to make a tackle there, number 2. Oh, my goodness. He got the right foot out.
That's the old soccer kick.
It is.
Yeah.
That's allowed in soccer, by the way.
Yes, it is.
It is not allowed in the NFL.
No.
Yeah. Well, he's got very good vision with that face mask for sure. You can see everything in front of him.
Speaking of vision, by the way.
We have fouls on both teams. We have tripping on the kicking team.
Saw that.
We have holding on the return team.
Didn't see that.
During the run back. By rule, put the ball at the spot of the foul, first down.
Where is the spot of the foul?
Walt didn't exactly seem 100% sure about that.
No, I don't think so. Okay, we know we put it at the spot of the foul. Now we determine the spot.
Yeah.
Well, they have huddled and decided the 31, which I assume to be the spot of the hold because it wasn't the spot of the trip. Got that?
Yeah, I do. Thanks for sorting that out.
I was a sociology major, so I try and confuse the issue. You know, I did well on those blue book tests.
Did you?
Yeah. I could fill those Hummers.
It was the multiple choice ones.
Yeah, boy. When you had to be specific, I was in trouble. 1st and 10. Left side, incomplete. Well, I was going to say I'm going to start referring to my partner as Isaiah Hayden because he's been filled with prophecy tonight.
Yeah, we just thought we don't give him a chance. And look what Eric Metcalf has done now. 6 punt returns for touchdowns. Jack Christensen leads it with 8. But he catches Meggett and Brian Mitchell, both of whom are active still tonight. Now that is, like I said, he may not be one of the great players in the league, but he is certainly one of the most exciting players in the National Football League.
2nd and 10, 21-16 with 9:09 to go, 3rd quarter. Bettis. And among other, there's a scramble. And is there a turnover?
Oh, my.
They've only lost 1 fumble this year, making a deuce. Wow.
And look who comes up with it again.
Kevin Ross, who scored on an 83-yard return of a blocked field goal in the first half.
Yeah, and you see them, the coaches say that's the way to strip it. That is the way to strip the ball. Jesse Tuggle gets in it. Jesse Tuggle gets his first hand on it. And it was number 90, Chuck Smith, who stripped him of the ball.
Then Kevin Ross with a recovery. And this team that has been plus 13 in turnovers coming in loses its 2nd fumble in as many weeks. 1st and 10, Atlanta. They trail by 5. Flag is down. Bring it back. Dead ball foul. This play will not be allowed to stand.
Well, the other half of the equation in the Ram defense is so good at creating turnovers. They lead the NFL with 16, has 0.
Prior to the snap, offense number 62, 5-yard penalty.
That's Dave Richards, who's getting his 3rd start of the season tonight. He's alternated there with Lincoln Kennedy. Richards started the season as a backup but came on 3 games ago.
And you know, the tackle position is very, very, very difficult in this run and shoot. They put a lot of pressure on those guys because of the line splits. And we talked about, you know, generally you don't have a tight end there. It's tough anyway, but it's tougher in the run and shoot.
1st and 15 at the 9-minute mark, 3rd quarter. Metcalf in motion. Hand off to Hayward. Gets the 5 back, plus a couple down to the 33-yard line. Well, a battle for first place in the NFC West between teams not named San Francisco.
Who would have thunk it?
Right. And we've had a lot of inquiries this week about the significance of the game and what we thought back when the schedule was announced.
Yep.
This looked like just kind of a game.
Yeah.
And here we are in this 7th weekend, actually, and a game with real meaning.
Yeah, the Falcons have beaten teams they should have beaten. The Rams have had 2 surprise wins, but they're playing with incredible enthusiasm on a new head coach.
2nd and 11. George looks right. Metcalf at the 31-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 7.
You don't want Eric Metcalf catching the ball on his knees. You want to get him the ball as he's standing up and allow him to run in open space. It's just an extended run. They couldn't do it at Cleveland because he couldn't break the line of scrimmage, but here you want him in open space right here. But he goes down to catch it, and that's not how you're going to use Eric Metcalf. Get the ball to him on the numbers so he can make people miss, and you'll get spectacular plays.
Well, the offensive numbers have been very modest tonight for the Atlanta Falcons. Metcalf with 5 catches now, but only 29 yards. The devastation has come on special teams by Atlanta. Into the end zone. They're going to try Tyrone Brown again, and this time good defensive job done by Anthony Parker, number 27. Reunited here with Willie Shaw.
It looked like Jeff George had him early in this thing. He's at the top of the screen against Anthony Parker, number 27. Now he gets rid of the bump and run much better this time, Vern, and he has a cushion. And again, that ball's catchable again.
Yep.
Yeah. And it goes right through his hand. It's a little high, but in the NFL, that ball's catchable, and look who's open.
Field goal attempt is off wide right. Zendejas, who will do all the field goal chores for the remainder of the night, because Morton Anderson said when he tried an extra point earlier, he felt a little twinge with that strained calf muscle. Number 3, and our coverage continues 1 week from tonight as the AFC Central rivals Cincinnati and Pittsburgh meet at Three Rivers Stadium. 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Coverage will begin at 7 o'clock with the Coors Light Pro Football Tonight pregame show. I always enjoy going back to Pittsburgh because that means next week we can use the word confluence.
Oh, yes. Which rivers? We'll get to that next week.
Yes. Yeah. Inducement tonight. Confluence will be the word next week.
You know, for the Rams, Wayne Gandy, who has played so well at left tackle for them, is injured, hurt himself, and Clarence Jones, number 72, is in. But boy, in the first 2.5 quarters, Wayne Gandy has played really magnificently.
Well, we'll see what Chris Dolman can do with Clarence Jones now. Jones, a fifth-year man from Maryland, signed as a free agent, 94. So Clarence Jones, number 72. 21-16, 41-yard line. Rams have it. They have led throughout. Miller. Isaac Bruce, who earlier tonight became the first Ram since Henry Ellard in 1990 to put together back-to-back 100-yard receiving games. Now let's take a look at the Coors Light scoreboard. Again, this is the only game in town or in the country tonight. And so we're looking forward to some of the matchups that will take place this Sunday.
There's some touch games going on out west, out in my neighborhood, I'm sure, tonight.
And I realized when I said that there's some high school games going on.
High school games going on, and some touch games out in the front yard. That's where it all starts for kids. That's where the dream starts.
And once again, can be found factually inaccurate.
Yeah. Remember that feeling of being incorrect, okay?
Inadequate as well. Here's Johnny Bailey. Bailey has struggled this season, but he had a tough 12-yard run in the second quarter, and this time he picks up another 12 yards. You
know what you really like about this Ram offensive game plan tonight? Jack Riley, the offensive coordinator, the way he's mixing those plays. I mean, he throws a little short pass one play to Isaac Bruce, then he runs the ball inside on a trap to Johnny Bailey, then he'll throw it deep the next play. I mean, they're giving you a little bit of everything. This is that same little pass that the Falcons have run so well, that shovel pass to Bailey. He finds some over traffic, but they have really mixed it up and used the entire field.
Bailey has 4 catches tonight, and Chris Miller 243 yards on the ground or in the air. Here's a flag. This one could come back, or well, Miller's going to come over and argue the case.
In any event, Jerome Bettis looks like Jerome Bettis of his rookie season to me. I mean, he started out slowly. Rich Brooks doesn't agree with it. Jerome Bettis started out slowly tonight, tried to bounce out a couple of times, but since that time, he has done what he does best, just put his head down and make a hole.
Number 77, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Daryl Ashmore is the man found guilty of the infraction. Rich Brooks left the University of Oregon after leading them to the Rose Bowl last year. First time since most of us had reached maturity.
Well, 37 years ago. Yes. They were an exciting team. You know, he did these trick plays at Oregon, too. He had a receiver throw for 2 touchdowns last year at Oregon.
Are you prophesying again?
Well, I may be. I don't know.
I may have to call you Ezekiel as well as Isaiah.
You can spell it, you can call me it.
Here's Kinchin.
He's down there at second base, Vern. You see that?
Second base.
Second base.
Yeah. The ghost of Red Schoendienst is patrolling in that area. Now I'm really dating myself. Here's Kinchin.
You know, this guy is a valuable player, a role player, but a good special teams player, and he gives you everything. And he hurdles his body around and doesn't mind getting tackled on the dirt, gets his arm pulled, but he'll jump over people, run through people.
Is this a little uncomfortable now for the backs and the quarterbacks to start out on the dirt like this?
Yeah, it sure is.
The elephant backfield is in. There's motion left side. Flags are down.
3 plays. Get it deep.
He did. He's got a man open. Caught. Leonard Russell. Touchdown.
Oh, that's smart.
Oh, they may bring it back and say it was a dead ball foul. Oh, man. It's going to go against the Rams.
In any event, Chris Miller did the right thing. It was a smart play. And remember, this rule is to protect the quarterbacks. This rule is to protect the quarterbacks.
Boomer Esiason would like to have had a quick whistle like this last week.
They're calling it on Isaac Bruce, the man who was in the slot. Isaac Bruce got moving a little bit early. Yeah, this is the right goal. Number 80 at the bottom of the screen. See, he moves early. Yeah. He moves early, and Russell goes in here. He's the one that goes deep. There's Bruce, and there's Russell.
Yep.
But the right play. I mean, Chris Miller did the right thing. He thought he had the free play. He was just looking at Chris Dolman and got the ball deep.
It was also a good call.
Yes. Yes.
Second down and 16. Here's Miller, chased by Dolman. The head linesman replacing Jerry Bergman tonight is Sanford Rivers, who made that call.
Ooh, you are on top of your game. You even have the replacement officials.
Snap, number 77, 5-yard penalty.
I know Jerry Bergman, and that's no Jerry Bergman. Sometimes I'm ashamed of myself.
You really have a flair for the expected.
Sanford Rivers, the head linesman who made the call.
Good, and a good call. Good, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's marking my name down.
Got the good whistle on the hand there. You see that?
I'll be seen after class. Yeah, no kidding. 3 penalties for Atlanta, 7 now for St. Louis. That hurt them last week, or 10 days ago. Second down and 21. Russell breaks the tackle. Chuck Smith up on top. Jesse Tuggle, number 58, and Kevin Ross, number 36, a part of that. And that'll bring up third down. 21-16, 3:25 remaining.
Well, a 5-point lead, and Chris Miller's thinking about, hey, get myself in field goal range at least on this pass because it's third and very long. But you have to be a little concerned with their kicker. Stephen often struggled some this year. And that's the one failing that the Rams have had in their special teams thus far this year.
They had a field goal block in the second quarter, returned 83 yards by Kevin Ross for the touchdown. Johnny Bailey in the lineup on 3rd and 17. Miller deep left side, goes deep for Isaac Bruce, and it's overthrown. Good man coverage.
He got hurt.
Anthony Phillips, and he may have pulled a hamstring.
You could see that he slowed down on the run. You know, he slowed down before he went after that ball, because Isaac Bruce is the kind of guy that gives you everything on every play, and when he didn't go after that ball, it was very surprising.
Bruce with 7 catches for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns already tonight. And on 4th down, the Rams will have to punt.
I think they should have really gone for about 8 yards in their field goal attempt run.
Landetta, Metcalf, fair catch. Grabs it at the 16-yard line. So that will go into the record book as 1 down to inside the 20. June Jones and Jeff George talk it over. Falcons with a chance to go on top when we return.
Let's go to the long pass to Isaac Bruce where he was hurt. Look at his face, and you'll see the pain in his face because he didn't go after this ball because he got a little pulled hamstring or a strained hamstring. And it's there. And he felt it. Now, the Ram bench said he had actually hurt himself several plays before. And that's a guy they can't afford to lose.
Now, that last sequence highlighted by an illegal motion call on Isaac Bruce that erased a touchdown catch by Leonard Russell. Here's the run out to the 19-yard line. Jimmy Jones, who does enjoy playing this game.
Jimmy Jones is one of those good stories in the NFL. He's number 98 again over the center. Fortin just blows through Fortin and makes the tackle. But you know, every game, every home game, he treats 25 local kids to the game and then takes them out to dinner afterwards. One of the nice stories of the NFL.
2nd and 8, 21-16. Falcons trail the Rams as we near the 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. They give it to Hayward, and he's going to be caught and dropped at the 20-yard line. DeMarco Farr, number 76, who reminds many of John Randall at Minnesota.
Yeah, number 75. He's a good stunner. He and Jimmy Jones have it. He just plays off that stunt, fights to the block, and gets there to make the play on Hayward. And you're right, they want DeMarco Farr to be like John Randall in that quick and strong, and he was a free agent, one of those great stories. Rich Brooks played against him when he was at the University of Washington and said we could never, ever block him.
Undersized and quick. 3rd and 6. George with time. Got a man. First down at the 40-yard line.
Hey,
Tyrone Brown. That is his first catch as a professional. He dropped 4 tonight.
Well, one was overthrown.
Missed on 4, right.
One was overthrown, but this is that release. George looks to his left first as he rolls to his right, kind of spins the ball around. You see the way George spinned the ball around? Good throwing lane right in there to Tyrone Brown.
Now, if you're Jeff George, are you really hesitant to make that throw back to him?
I think you are. I think you always wonder about that. You know, you go to your go-to guy, but you know, the run and shoot, they don't have a game plan. When a read takes you somewhere, you go there.
They hand it off to Hayward after the first down play, and he moves it out near the 43-yard line. Craig Hayward now 7 carries, and for really modest yards, 6 yards. He's done his damage catching the ball with 3 catches for 53 yards. Yeah. He's a nice story too, isn't he, Pat?
Yeah, he really is. Has his life in order. Was kind of a mess a few years ago. Way overweight, had some alcohol problems, and just really has cleaned up his life. He's in the best shape that he has. It's a good story, and he's playing great too. He's feeling good. He's playing well, and it's nice to see.
In the last couple of years, he's lost 50 pounds, and he's off the booze. First down. Catch made at the 50. By Eric Metcalf.
And again, the tackle after the catch. But a good release there by Jeff George. Boy, did you see that? Little sidearm release.
We've reached the end of 3. We ought to do this more often on Thursday night.
Yeah. How about next week?
Let's try that.
Okay.
We'll be back in a moment. We begin the final 15 on a superb night in St. Louis, 21-16. It has been a ball game to equal the weather.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Pretty good ball game as well. And as we head into this 4th quarter, I think these are always defining moments. And Jeff George has played very well in the 4th quarter. You see his completion rate 65%. They've won 2 games in overtime. This guy has a remarkable talent, as we've said several times tonight. The knock on him, he hasn't been tough enough to win in the 4th quarter, but he has done that this year. And this could be an incredible comeback again for him.
Well, they haven't done all that much on offense tonight. The Atlanta surge has come from special teams.
Special teams are a third of the game. You know, that one was blocked by Roger Harper, returned for a touchdown by Kevin Ross. The Rams kind of made their own play after this long return of 83 yards by Ross.
And then to answer it, Here come the Rams.
The perfect bounce pass. You can only do that really on AstroTurf. And that is to Isaac Bruce. That set up a touchdown play. And then the punt return, the superb punt return by Eric Metcalf. After a penalty on the Rams gave him a second chance, he goes the distance. And then we got a little bit of everything. Zendejas misses the field goal. Just pushes it right. It has been, you're right, a very interesting ball game.
Blocked field goal 66. Well, I can't wait to see what the ugly's going to be. If they take a shot at us.
That's it.
Mitch Lyons is in on 3rd and 1, and that will be enough to move the chains and give Atlanta a fresh series of downs. June Jones and the Atlanta Falcons 4-1. They go to Tampa Bay next, and then they've got the Cowboys at home. Meanwhile, St. Louis, next game here will be against San Francisco. That game probably will be played here at Busch Stadium. I don't think the new Trans World Dome is going to be ready, though. No official announcement has been made. First down and 10. Metcalf in motion. George, Tyrone Brown, second catch.
Yeah, there we go. We get a report that Wayne Gandy, the left tackle for the Rams, is out for the rest of the game. And speaking of left tackles, Bob Whitfield, number 70 for the Falcons, has done a pretty good job on Sean Gilbert, because we have not heard much from Sean Gilbert tonight. There's Bob Whitfield, played right tackle last year. They moved him to the left side, and Gilbert is in alone. He's had a great year, but Whitfield has been equal to him tonight.
Atlanta has never led in this game. They trail by 5 now. Second down, officially 1. George, incomplete. Intended for Bert Emanuel, the wide receiver.
Emanuel only has 1 catch on the evening. And this is a guy who came in with 25 catches, 2 touchdowns. You know, much has been made of him being a former quarterback where he was first at UCLA and then at Rice. And, you know, think about that adjustment. Not only you adjust from the college to the pros, but from a quarterback position to a wide receiver. And he started all 16 games last year for the Falcons.
Coming off a 6-reception game their last time out, the win over New England, and 5 prior to that. 3rd and 1. George is 14 of 24. Being chased, lets it go. Hayward, first down at the 36-yard line. That for Hayward, 4 catches tonight.
Isaac Bruce reported he's working out some cramps in his left calf, which that sidelined Morton Anderson tonight, but they think he will be back. So once again, I want to go back to the Rams defense. Really had done a great job of tackling. I mean, on that play too, Hayward in the open field, and another good tackle by the Rams secondary.
First down and 10, 21-16, ball at the 36. Shovel pass that may have slipped out of George's hand. It's a forward lateral.
Yeah, it's an incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass.
Heads up play by Jeff George.
Yeah.
That wasn't there.
You think it was just he threw it?
Yeah, he threw it away. You know, sometimes you throw it away into the upper decks.
Right.
This one he just threw it right down in the dirt.
Cagey, huh?
Yeah, very smart play. You're going to see this is the play that ran with so much success in the first half, but it's not here, and Jeff George knows it, so he just gets rid of it.
Looked like an entry pass in college basketball. Although I don't think Craig Hayward's going to qualify as a low post player.
No.
Although if he did get down there, he could establish position.
And he wouldn't give it up easily.
No. Second and 10. 21-16, 12:49 to go in regulation. Timeout. Hotlanta. Dandy one brewing here, appropriately enough, in St. Louis. 21-16. If you're of a poetic bent, you might want to think about moon over the Mississippi, or if
Miami.
you're not, you might think that the moon is neutral. When the Goodyear blimp hovers overhead with its camera focused on the event, you know you're going to get a unique view. And tonight it's the Goodyear blimp Eagle beginning a trek out to California, based in Los Angeles.
Over Arizona.
They go south and west.
It's about 1,700 nautical miles, isn't it? All the way out there.
If you say so, I'd accept it. Second and 10. Draw play, Hayward. He got it moving pretty good inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. 12:38 remaining in this one. And the winner for the moment, undisputed possession of first place.
And you know, one of those things too, we talked about Terrence Mathis being out. Just imagine the Falcons scoring here and then going for 2 and missing Mathis again. And they would want to make that go for a 2-point play.
And keep in mind that Anderson is not going to kick field goals the rest of the night. Zendejas is 1 for 2. 3rd and 2. George looking right all the way. And now we're going to get Tony Zendejas back, I would assume. Yep, here comes Zendejas.
You know, these guys have to be mentally tough too. I'm talking about kickers. And it looked like there was some miscommunication between George and Metcalf. I think George thought he was going to stop, or it looked like Metcalf was getting ready to stop, and the ball thrown outside. See, there was a corner rolling up there, and he was intending to stop, and George let him too much.
Field goal from 45 officially. Straczynski to hold, high snap again. This one looks perfect. Tony Zendejas brought on because of a strained calf muscle suffered by Morton Anderson last Sunday when he was attempting a kickoff. Has now connected on 2 of 3, 40 and 45, and it pulls Atlanta within 2. The lead is 2 for the St. Louis Rams, 21-19, 11:58 remaining in this one. And Zendejas will now kick off. Deep men, Todd Kinchin, number 81, and Johnny Thomas, J.T. Thomas, number 18. Zendejas for the kick. Taken by Thomas at the 5. Good special teams tackle at the 24, and from that point, the Rams will put it in play with a 2-point lead. You know, we see a lot of guys carrying cords for coaches around the NFL, and sometimes there is no story there, but that's not the case here. That fella on the left is Russ Porter, who has been a friend of Rich Brooks since they were in grade school together in Grass Valley, California. They went to Nevada Union High School together. Russ lives in Sacramento. They've remained best friends for better than 40 years. He comes in from Sacramento and totes the cord for his good buddy on the sidelines. Nice.
It is a nice score. We'll get a few of them today.
Yeah. 1st and 10. Isaac Bruce, who had cramps and came back.
You know, you got to really love this Isaac Bruce. Not only is he a great player, he has fun playing. I mean, too many guys make this too hard. He's at the top of the screen and too difficult and seem not to really enjoy it. But he's playing a kid's game. He's having fun doing it, and he's playing particularly well. Now, that pass was really set up by all the long passes. He's both caught and run those patterns. And then he's got defensive corners giving him a lot of leeway.
In Indianapolis 11 days ago, it was 8 for 181. Tonight, 8 catches for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. 1st and 10. Bettis comes right. Cuts back.
Yeah.
And totes it out to the 48-yard line.
Well, Rick Brooks told us this offensive team is a work in progress. He says we're a little mismatch of everything. Mismatch. We are the old Washington Redskins, power football. That was one of those kind of plays with a bunch of people pulling. So we got some of the short passing that, you know, the West Coast has, and then we throw the deep ball. I mean, they have a little bit of everything, and probably most like those good Washington Redskins that could really beat you deep and still hammer the ball at you. But this is a pretty good Ram football team.
That is 72 yards on 15 carries. His high for the season, 83 in game 2. He gets it again, tries to go left, and this time is cut down for a loss. Clock at 10-20.
Kevin Ross has had a pretty good game for these Falcons. The defense has struggled tonight, but Kevin Ross on special teams and some nice defensive plays.
He's another one of those double-digit year veterans.
Yep.
He's in his 12th season. They've got a ton of them, don't they?
There is a bunch of, well, the linebackers have they're 104 years old among them, 3 of them, among Jesse Tuggle, Clay Matthews, and Darryl Talley.
Third down from the 48. Drayton comes in motion. 4-man rush by Atlanta. Miller comes to his right, looks deep for Bruce, settles short for Drayton. The catch is made for the first down at the 43. Excellent.
Another one of those players, young players of the Rams that's coming on. That's Troy Drayton. And Troy Drayton was open very early in this route, and Chris Miller didn't see him. But he was the man that went in motion. But he was looking to his left, got flushed out of the pocket a little bit, wanted to get out of second base. And Troy Drayton was just kind of waving his arms over here on the right sideline, and Chris Miller finally sees him. And again, the accurate throw right on the numbers. You don't have to adjust to his balls very much.
Drayton with 3 catches tonight. His season high a couple of weeks ago when he had 8 for 106 yards. And now the St. Louis Rams are forced to use one of their timeouts. So each team has used one here in the second half, which means each has a couple remaining. We'll be right back.
Shade over 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. St. Louis up by 2 points. You know, I had a scary moment just a couple of days ago, and my partner here gave me the Heimlich maneuver that really kind of saved my life. And the American Red Cross actually have given me to present to you a life-saving award. Life-saving award to Vern Lundquist. So Vern, there it is, right there. I want to congratulate you.
Thank you,
go into the Heimlich Hall of Fame.
I'm glad you weren't eating corn on the cob. Oh, brother. intercepted. Clay Matthews, number 57, in his 18th season, gets the interception. That's his first of the year.
And that ball was deflected. Tip ball. Somebody got there wrong. Earlier in the games, it was Chris Dolman. I think it was Mo Gardner that time. And right in the hands of Clay Matthews. Now, Clay Matthews has been doing this thing for a long time. Yeah, that's Gardner getting his hands up. It's a good play. You mentioned, you know, the 18 years. I mean, that is a lot of collisions. It's a lot of tackles. It's a lot of interceptions.
And he's not done after this season necessarily. He said he still enjoys it. Matthews with the interception.
He says, I can't think of anything better to do on Sundays and Thursdays than play football.
First and 10 with 9:07 to go. Hayward finally decides to take it through left tackle. And Robbie Tobeck, number 61, led the way, the left guard. Tobeck, who for years started at center at Washington State, where he passed the ball back to a guy named Bledsoe.
Well, you know, the turnover story has been such a large part of the Rams season, but you see the last two games, -3. You know, and as we wind down to this fourth quarter, that Morgan Anderson story, I think, becomes more and more important for the Falcons.
George. Oh, dear. Wow.
He got up.
Anthony Parker delivered the blow on Darrell Spencer. Thank heavens for padding.
Yeah. And Darrell Spencer is taking advantage of this start. I mean, he has made a couple of catches tonight. This is a tough catch, and you learn something about a receiver in these kind of situations. And Darrell Spencer,
one catch for 7 yards. Made a tough catch that night.
He did.
First and 10 after the 9-yard gain. Hayward. Gilbert got him. Sean Gilbert, number 90.
Yeah, Willie Shaw, the defensive coordinator, said, hey, I'm going to move him outside because he's going to be a power defensive end. Now, he's just reading here. He's not even rushing. He reads the play perfectly, saw that it wasn't a pass. He could tell by the block by the left tackle. Stays at home. And Willie Shaw, the defensive coordinator, really has done just a tremendous job. This has been a defense that has really been sensational this year so far.
Second and 11. 7:10 remaining in regulation play. A 2-point game. Tipped in the air. Incomplete.
That's what they look for, the tip ball drill.
Gerald McBurrows was closest to it.
Most of their interceptions, and they lead the league with 10, have come off of tipped balls. Tipped passes. They have no interceptions tonight. The double team there on Gilbert. The ball was thrown. It might have been tipped a little bit, actually, by Sean Gilbert. No, he got past him. The ball was thrown behind Darrell Spencer and gave McBurrows a chance to recover.
Atlanta is 4 of 11 on third down conversions. They're looking at 3rd and 11 now. Light backs off on the left side. Flag is down. Bring it back. Dead ball foul should be against the offense.
So this is where a home crowd can have a difference in a game.
Prior to the snap, number 70, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
And for your tackles who cannot hear the quarterback, they're the ones that tend to move early. Remember, Jeff George not playing without Terrence Mathis, a guy who caught 111 passes a year ago and 11 touchdowns, and J.J. Burton, 50% of their starting receiving corps.
He brings Tyrone Brown wide to the left. Metcalf and Spencer as well. 3rd and 16. George, one hopper, 4th down. Atlanta will have to punt. Emmanuel, the intended receiver, it was a little behind him. And it bounced 5 yards from him.
The great quarterbacks in the league, no matter how they play in the first 54 or 55 minutes in the ball game, always play great at the latter stages in the game. And this is where Jeff George, I think, needs to step up and play better in these last 6 minutes of this ball game.
Straczynski on for the 6th time tonight. Todd Kinchin waits for it at the 12-yard line. And he has induced another fair catch.
Oh.
He leads the league in induced fair catches. We are changing the terminology of the National Football League.
I love it.
We'll be right back. Back in the 4th quarter at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, the Rams yet to score in the second half. Atlanta has put 9 on the board. It's 21-19. Jeff George, 16 of 30 for 160 yards. Special teams really the biggest factor in keeping Atlanta in this game tonight. They have 2 special teams touchdowns. Now the Rams with 6:36 remaining before a crowd of 59,700. Play action. Miller on first down. Drills it for Isaac Bruce. He's now caught 9 tonight.
And the calf goes stiff on him again. But Vern, that is respect. Chris Miller is patient and courageous in the pocket. Kind of steps up, feels he trips over one of his offensive linemen. But when you have a receiver like Isaac Bruce that has caught some long passes, you can complement that with a couple of out routes. They have done that tonight. They've thrown the ball deep, and they come back and they throw the ball short.
That's a season high for Isaac Bruce. 9 catches, not a season high in yards. And Chris Miller's over the 300-yard mark for the second time this year. Here's the handoff. Bettis.
Yeah, remember we said in the very first quarter when he started to run well after his first couple carries, if he runs well in the first quarter, he can wear a defensive down in the 4th quarter. And this is an entirely different Jerome Bettis than we've seen the last couple of weeks. I mean, this is as quick as we've seen him in the 4th quarter and as powerful as we've seen him. And this Atlanta defense that's been on the field a long time tonight is I think, wearing down to a guy like Jerome Bettis.
Bettis now with 82 yards on 17 carries. The clock is 5:07 and rolling. Play action. Miller, shovel pass. Bettis dropped it. Tried to turn around and run before he had both mitts on it.
Stick a fork in it.
Yep. And a player is down back at the 31 for Atlanta. Mo Gardner, I believe. Number 67. It is Gardner. While they tend to the injuries suffered by Mo Gardner, time has been called. Time called with 5:02 remaining in regulation. 21-19, 5:02. A field goal for Atlanta if they get the ball back would win this, but Morton Anderson will not be kicking it. And it becomes really significant if they have to try a long field goal. Morton Anderson with 24 of 50+ in his career, including one this year.
Including a 60-yarder. So, I mean, I think that is absolutely significant. Zendejas, though, did kick 6 50-yard field goals in 1993.
And he's 2 of 3 tonight. The miss came from 48. But in the meantime, the Rams have the ball. And here's Miller on a line. That's good for another first down for St. Louis.
You know, the other thing about the Rams of old would have sat on a lead and hoped their defense held up. But this Ram offense continues to attack. This is an entirely different Ram team in a new city, and they're playing entirely differently. Chris
Miller, of course, played last year for Chuck Knox in Los Angeles, and said he thinks his old college coach, Rich Brooks, because he played there in Eugene for Rich, has brought a collegiate atmosphere to this team. An enthusiasm that the franchise didn't have. There was a certain ennui.
Oh, man, you got it all in tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, Thursday afternoon, you know, there's not much on television. A lot of time to study. To the 48. Stay with us following the game for the Steel Pro Football Tonight postgame report. Join Vince Giuliani, Mark May, Warren Moon, and Kevin Kiley for a look ahead at all the Week 7's upcoming games. Ernie Johnson will have interviews with tonight's stars.
I would say Isaac Bruce has been a star so far. This game is long from decided with 3:40 remaining in this game, but he has been terrific.
Johnny Bailey joins Jerome Bettis in the backfield on second down. Shovel pass to Bailey. And he manages to move it forward inside the 45 near the 43-yard line, and the clock continues to unravel at 3:20.
And they need another first down. This will be, in this game thus far, the biggest third down for both teams that we faced.
St. Louis 5 of 10 on third down conversions tonight.
And I think Chris Miller needs to start milking the clock some too. I mean, remember the Giants when they were so good? Phil Simms would milk the clock better than anybody I've ever seen.
3rd and 4 with a 2-point lead and the clock under 3 minutes. Bailey got it. 1st and 10. Rams at the 36.
And now use as much time as you can. Keep staying aggressive. You got to be aggressive still because you only have a 2-point lead, but use as much of the clock as you can. When you've done so many things well as the Rams have, you are playing on your heels most of the evening, and this Falcon defense has been on their heels. The Rams have thrown it deep, they've thrown it short, and they've run the ball when they've had to.
Atlanta Falcons have chosen to use one of their 2 remaining timeouts. That leaves them with 1. And it stops the clock with 2:39 remaining in regulation. Well, I hope we get this lucky next Thursday night. Bengals and Steelers, AFC Central battle from Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. And that'll all begin with the Coors Light Pro Football Tonight pregame show beginning at 7 o'clock. And then we'll be along with the game broadcast, Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, next Thursday night.
Looking at that Cincinnati defensive player, you talk so much about Jeff Blake. They lead the NFL in sacks. They have 22 sacks on defense, so they're playing well on both sides of the ball.
Oh, wait a minute. I spend my Thursday afternoon getting ready for this game.
Oh, I'm looking ahead. Looking ahead. But this has been kind of fun. This one has been kind of fun.
And we've got 2:39 remaining in this one. Jeff George hoping for one more chance. 4-1 Falcons, 4-1 Rams.
And what they have to be thinking, I mean, June Jones has to be thinking, hey, just force the field goal attempt. I mean, we can still come back and win the thing if you force the field goal attempt. Heck, they blocked the field goal for a touchdown.
On the ground tonight, Bettis with 85 yards, Russell with 27.
All the Rams in the huddle are telling the crowd to be quiet. This is an enthusiastic crowd that's been away from pro football for 8 years now. They haven't quite gotten it back yet, when you're supposed to cheer and when you're supposed to be quiet. But Rich Brooks has given them a little help. On defense, you cheer. On offense, you kind of enjoy the game, right?
1st and 10. Atlanta can stop the clock one more time with a timeout. They hand it off to Leonard Russell, and he tries to get outside and cannot do it. Tackle made by Darryl Talley, number 99.
Well, they'll have the 2-minute warning as well. They're going to use that timeout.
That'll leave June Jones and the Falcons without timeouts. And they will get the automatic stoppage at the 2-minute warning.
Right.
Jeff George wanting one more chance for the night, 16 of 30. Very moderate numbers, 160 yards. His counterpart Chris Miller has thrown for 316 tonight, and 9 of those have gone to Isaac Bruce. 9 for 175. Statistically, there's a huge disparity in this game.
Remember, the Atlanta had that missed 2-point conversion. Again, we've mentioned it several times. Terrence Mathis, who holds the NFL record for 2-point conversions, 4 in his career, unable to play tonight. The other interesting statistic, though, St. Louis has possessed the ball. 32 minutes for them to 21 for Atlanta. They've done that a lot of ways. I mean, a lot of times you think of teams that possess the ball as being boring, ground control. They haven't. They've done just about everything. It has been just a terrific offensive game plan by the Rams. And the Falcon defense, as we mentioned, they really have been on their heels most of this game.
2:32 remaining. Rams up by 2. Marv Cook in motion. Play action. He's looking deep for Bruce. His 10th and Isaac Bruce ran a terrific route.
You're right, and he's happy with himself. That was a double move, the old double move. Number 80, Isaac Bruce at the bottom of the screen. He's going to fake the out and up, and then he's going to come back and break it off. And that's what you call a cushion. That's what you call creating separation from the defensive back, Ron Davis. A phenomenal route. And a perfect throw by Chris Miller.
10 catches, 191 yards. Isaac Bruce, the potential preacher, said a special Thursday night service will be held, and we will have communion. St. Louis leading 21-19 with 2 minutes remaining. Things looking a little dire for the Atlanta Falcons.
And Chris Miller has played beautifully tonight. Throwing the ball on time, incredibly accurately. Thrown for 332 yards, but none was bigger than this one because this sealed the Falcons' fate. And the reaction by Eric Metcalf, and you understand it. And the Rams can run it out.
Falcons out of timeouts. Bettis gets it down to the 15-yard line.
You know, this is a significant win for the Rams. They will go 5-0 in the NFC and 3-0 in their division, with San Francisco coming up in about 10 days. So they got 10 days to prepare for the 49ers.
49ers this week have a very difficult road trip. They go into Indianapolis to take on the Colts, who are playing amazingly well. Not amazingly well. I mean, they're playing well.
Well, both
that win the other night was amazing.
You're right, Vern. And you know, both these teams, there have been doubters, skeptics about these teams. Well, this Ram team is a good football team. And next week, you'll find out how good.
Atlanta goes to Tampa Bay, then they're at home against Dallas. The Falcons' record will fall to 4-2. And Rich Brooks, in his first season as a 54-year-old NFL rookie, will have his team's season record go to 5 wins and 1 defeat. And this is a wonderful scene back in St. Louis. 59,700, a record crowd tonight. They haven't had the NFL in town since 1987, and they are basking in the joy of it all.
He deserves to smile. And he's good for the NFL, the way he plays football and coaches football.
Rich Brooks and the St. Louis Rams sit atop the NFC West for the moment. With a record of 5 wins and 1 defeat, they eke it out tonight 21-19. June Jones and the Atlanta Falcons 4-2 and a game back. A Cadillac player of the game. This will not be exactly a surprise. Isaac Bruce, the minister of offense. 10 catches, 191 yards, 2 touchdowns, and for the year now, 36 catches. He follows an 8-catch game with a 10-catch game. He'll be a guest on the postgame show along with Chris Miller, and we'll be back with a final word right after this. St. Louis wins it 21-19, and just a couple of moments ago, Chris Miller was in a euphoric mood.
49ers next week. 49ers next week. They are the world champions. God love you. God bless you. Woo! Woo!
And he has reason to be happy. Once again, the final score, the Rams 21, the Falcons 19. Join us again next Thursday for NFL action on TNT starting at 7 Eastern with the Coors Light Pro Football Tonight pregame show. Then at 8 o'clock, a Central Division battle between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers from the Confluence. Stay tuned for the Seal postgame report. Ernie Johnson joins Mark May, Kevin Kiley, and Vince Cellini with a complete wrap-up of tonight's action. For Pat Hayden, I'm Vern Lundquist saying good night from St. Louis, Missouri.